I feel like there's nothing to gain here, but I did check my receipt.
Science and engineering it took to recover this.
No, I checked it to make sure he wasn't overcharging me and trying to distract me.
Oh, I like that vigilance. Damn, this girl is so vigilant. I love it.
Yeah, I'm like, well, why is he saying that? Like, is he trying to distract me because he like charged me like $10 instead of $8 for each lottery ticket? Yeah, I mean, he could do that.
Welcome to the All Gold Everything podcast, a podcast for people whose dogs have bigger Instagram platforms than we do.
Influencers.
Yes, at Henry and Lemon.
At Ouibey_Barksdale.
Ouibey had a big milestone this week.
Somebody slid into his DMs.
For those of you that don't know, Sandy and her lovely husband, Joey, they have an adorable Berger peacock. Berger, how do you say it?
Well, the way you're supposed to say it is Berger Picard.
Berger peacock.
But we learned quickly not to say it that way to people because it's confusing enough when you tell them it's a Burger Picard that when you say Berger Picard, they are like, what is wrong with your face?
What is that even? So who slid? Now, Ouibey Barksdale does have a huge IG following. Luckily for us, he follows us.
Yes.
Sometimes he comments on our stuff.
Well, we tried to do a crossover and it really didn't work out that well for us. That was like his lowest liked picture. But whatever.
It's all right. Different audiences. Different
they don't want to see the humans. They want to see the burgers.
The fuzzies.
They want the burgers.
They want the burgers.
Give us the burgers.
That's truth. Hamburgers they want to see, food pictures, and burger puppies they want to see.
They want to see the burgers.
So who slid into Ouibey's DM?
A little Burger Picard that's local named Nettie. Shout out to Nettie.
Hey, Nettie.
And
that's cute.
I think that Nettie lives in Nopo. And so first thing was Nettie commented that we need to meet. We need to get together.
Whoa.
And then Nettie slid into the DMs with a photo. Like, look how cute I am.
That is legit. Nettie has been studying up. Do we know anything about Nettie's owners? Have you done any Instagram? You are a woman who does her research, so I can't imagine that you don't know a few things about Nettie's parents.
I mean this with all due respect, and I'm happy to go to North Portland to hang out with Nettie and Nettie's parents.
Yeah.
They look like a lovely lesbian couple.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I was wondering if you might have a Hamid situation on your hands here.
Yeah.
Now, what happened to you today with Hamid? No, so the other thing is...
why would a lesbian couple not be a Hamid situation?
No, well, they could be.
Maybe they want to swing.
Maybe they want to swing with... Maybe they want to be polyamorous.
No.
I mean, it could be. Sorry. That was presumptuous of me.
No, I just had to go there. I don't think that's the case. I think Nettie.
Yeah.
I think that it's really cool to see another burger in the city.
Yeah.
And I think
I feel like that should be Ouibey's song.
Burger in the city.
Hashtag burger in the city.
I could do that. I'm going to add that hashtag burger in the city.
Yeah.
No, I think it's really exciting to see another burger. And I think that
here's
Nettie
my
just wants to hang out with weebs.
You know I'm greedy. So I'm like, okay, I know that Ouibey isn't neutered yet, right?
Yes.
He's not fixed yet.
He's not. He has his appointment though.
I know, but maybe you could cancel it because maybe you need to breed him with with Nettie.
No. Well, Nettie is at least 6 years old to begin, and also Ouibey's broken. Ouibey will not be spreading.
That's true. Ouibey's
this genetic line. He's adorable, but no, that would be unfortunate.
Well, I love it. What a great way to kick off our show today.
Yes.
And we need to fill our listeners in on our Hamid situation. So that's the other thing. For those of you who are new to the show, every week Sandy goes to 7-Eleven, buys us lottery tickets because we are manifesting abundance. We are winning the power. It's just, actually, we won last week. We won $25.
Well, the other thing that he said was that we will win this Friday. This is Mega Millions. It has a bigger jackpot.
Mega Millions.
He said you will win this Friday.
I believe him. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what Sandy did is that a couple of months ago, you let Hamid know that if we won the jackpot, he had $1 million, a bag of money with his name on it.
I did not say $1 million.
You did not specify $1 million.
No.
Those are just what? All pennies. It was a bag full of pennies.
I just said a bag of money, so I leave it. If either of you win, however you fill the bag of money is up to you.
I love this. I learned so much from you every time we podcast. It's important because I do stupid shit like this. Oh, I'll give you $1 million. And I just like that Sandy's like, this is a little vague. It leaves me some wiggle room. You're also very vigilant because today Hamid said to you that we were going to win the jackpot.
Right.
And then also, what else did he say?
He told me that I looked gorgeous.
Yes. Well, you do. This is truth.
It made me a little uncomfortable. Am I being too uptight or not? Because my first thought was, oh shit, now I need to go find somewhere else to buy lottery tickets.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, it depends on your level of comfort. He probably was just trying to be nice and like flirt a little. You probably are like, you are beautiful. When you think about who's always in a 7-Eleven, you're probably the highlight of his day, frankly.
I mean, he's nice, but he has no shot with me.
Yeah, that's true because you're married and also a lot of other reasons. But so
just because I'm married.
Yeah. But it had you checking your receipt because you were worried he was distracting you.
Well, yeah. So I was like, well, why would he say that? And then so I thought I needed to check my receipt because I'm like, oh, he's trying to distract me so he could like charge me more for my lottery tickets and water. But I checked my receipt and it was all intact.
It was legit. Well, I can't wait to win Mega Millions this weekend. That's going to be fantastic. That'll be a lovely early birthday gift to me. I'm turning 39 on Monday, July 22nd.
I know. I did. You are perpetually 37 to me.
I know.
I can't face 39 with you.
Well, the thing that's making it a little easier is, I have a thing for every number. I'll be 30 fine.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's a great one to be. 30 great was a pretty great year as well. Mm-hmm. But I'm looking forward to moving into 30 fine. The only thing that has me feeling a little less 37 than normal, because I really feel like, and honestly, that's sweet of you to say 37 because I actually perpetually feel like I'm 32.
Yeah.
So well,
and it's not like related to like your age or how you look for that you're perpetually 37. It's just for some reason, I just can't see you getting older than 37. It's not because like, I think you even look 37 because we've already established we're aging in reverse.
Aging in reverse.
It's just that I think that I've fully recognized your 37th birthday and I've refused to recognize your 38th.
Well, 37,
as I will refuse to recognize your 39th.
That's right. And we had a really fun barbecue in my backyard for my 37th birthday. And like a lot of people were there. We took some great pictures. We got our all gold pod album cover. We did. That's where we got that.
There, yeah.
Yep. And you gave me a little sweatshirt that said loved, which I wear.
Yeah.
Right. It's so soft.
So what are we going to do this year?
I don't really know. My family's coming into town.
All right.
Shifting gears a little bit. My brother and sister-in-law and the babies are coming into town. I scrambled this week to find like all the baby seats and stuff for them. And we're going to Manzanita for the weekend.
That's right.
Weekend. So
you're leaving tomorrow, right?
Yeah, leaving. No, Friday. Friday morning.
Oh, you're picking them up at the airport tomorrow.
So anyway, it's my birthday weekend. It's my birthday month. I've pretty much been acting like it. So that's great. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Heidi.
So, but that leads me to the next thing. I wanted to make sure that our viewers know not only where they can find us. So I'm going to ask you to give them the rundown of that.
All the places.
All the places.
You just open your phone, and if you can open any app and type in All Gold Pod.
Any app, and you'll find us everywhere.
Open an app, type in All Gold Pod. You'll find us.
You'll find us. That's right. If you like watching us, this is pretty fun. Plus, you get to see like some pictures of stories that we cover or whatever. You can watch us on Twitch live stream. Right now, we're live streaming to Twitch.
I need somebody to watch us live streaming on Twitch and tell us what the deal is with that.
Please. Can somebody test this platform for us?
Right. I want to know why you're on Twitch to begin with. And thank you for watching us, and then tell us what you thought of it.
That's right. We can tell you why we're on Twitch, because Mark told us that Google invested a bunch of, is it Google? Amazon bought Twitch and is investing a bunch of money in it. So we're going to be the first people on that platform.
We're going to be the first like big Twitch podcast.
Yeah. So it's basically like being the first people on the moon.
Pretty much.
I mean,
we have to pioneer something. We're doing all these things, and one of them will be like, and they are All Gold Pod, pioneered podcasting on Twitch.
I just need it on my tombstone. Pioneer.
Because
I'm no outdoors woman, so I need to be the pioneer of some kind of like technological advance.
You're
or something.
A media pioneer.
I'm a media. Oh my God. Going on my website. Absolutely. Going on, having its own tab.
Media pioneer.
Media pioneer. Love it. And so that's
hashtag Berger in the city.
Hashtag Berger in the city. I wish you could make it sing. So it would like sing that song. Hashtag.
Well, like
Berger
when I did the Pride hashtag, it made it rainbow colored.
Yeah, that was nice. I like that.
It would be nice to do that with Berger in the City.
Agreed. I like that touch.
I don't know how to do that though.
I don't either. No, I think Instagram has to do that for you.
Instagram's behind it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so if you want to watch
Can I tell you something about Instagram really quickly?
Yes.
Instagram's changing.
Yes, it is.
So I'm finally just getting like caught up with like kind of how to rudimentarily.
The learning curve is steep, my friends.
Instagram,
it is,
and it's changing. And one of the things now is like, so if I were to want to screenshot how Nettie slid into Weeb's DMs to put on this vodcast to talk shit on them.
Vodcast, girl. Media pioneer.
I'm a fucking media pioneer. If I wanted to do that, it would notify Nettie that I did that.
What? Oh my God. That is so like,
it's so messed up.
What is the word for that?
Messed up.
It's like Instagram is a snitch. It's like Instagram is a gossip.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
Yeah. So I'm glad I knew that before I screenshotted because
you.
I actually didn't think we'd talk about that on the podcast. But in hindsight, it would have been nice to like show the picture of Nettie.
Yeah.
Because it's really cute.
Of
Nettie's
course.
a cutie.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Instagram, you can also watch our clip of the week on Instagram TV. Our Instagram, all@all.gold.pod has an Instagram TV channel associated with it. And while we don't upload our full episodes, we do upload our clip of the weeks there. So you can always check that out. And then, of course, you can listen to us everywhere. That's even easier to find us. But part of the reason I wanted to talk about where you can find us is that I wanted to make sure our listeners know how much content we're putting out every week for you to listen to.
We are.
Listen to. One of those things, I'm having so much fun doing the Bops playlists. The All Gold playlist is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's really fun. So every week we're doing a playlist that has some kind of theme connected with the show. So I did a playlist yesterday of a star themed, because last week's show was about astrology.
I saw it had Shine Bright Like a Diamond.
Yeah, you know what else it had?
I love that song.
Because Paris Hilton featured prominently in our discussion last week.
Stars Are Blind.
Yeah. If you are dying to hear a little bit of Stars Are Blind.
Even if the blah, 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 blah.
I mean, I don't even think we can get like any kind of...
show you mine.
Oh, there you go.
That's all I remember.
I was just going to say, I don't think we can even get any kind of like copyright infringement or like royalty thing because neither one of us can really get that. I don't even know how that song goes.
Yeah. I mean, I might have even got that wrong, and I think that's the one line that I think I know.
I feel like if you're dying to hear a little Paris Hilton Stars Are Blind, that's where you can find it on last week's All Gold Pod playlist.
That's a bop. That's a star bop.
It's a true, legit bop. So anyway,
can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah,
I think that the listeners may be interested too. Mm-hmm. I saw that you pointed out that if you're looking at our story, you can hit the little icon in the upper left-hand corner to go to the playlist on Spotify, which is nice to know.
Yeah.
But I went on Spotify trying to search it out and I wasn't able to find it.
Oh, so interesting.
So what is the search term on Spotify if you want to find all the All Gold Pod playlists?
That's a very good question. Let me pull up my Spotify now.
Because I have a car now that has speakers that work and I would absolutely listen to them if I could find them easily. And maybe even like subscribe or something.
That is curious. That's a very good question, what our Spotify name is, because I think it's like something like I couldn't, it gives it like a number. Okay, I'll have to figure this out. I'll be able to tell you later. I don't know how to tell our listeners to listen to. Actually, I think I can't believe this, but I think our username is podcast. And I don't know how to change it, but like when I went to all of our playlists, it just says podcast. And I can't imagine that's not already taken by somebody else. But we have 5 playlists under the, I can add find friends.
Oh, good Lord.
It's going to make me connect to Facebook. Okay, anyway, this is interesting.
So basically, there is not an answer to my question. No. It's not easy to find, is what it sounds like.
It's not easy to find on Spotify. It is easy to find on Instagram. On our Instagram account. Okay. And maybe if you start playing the playlist through the Instagram account, then it will take you to a place where you can like follow us or something. So thank you for bringing that to my attention.
So for now, just go to our stories.
That's right.
Go to click it from the stories.
That's right. Or our highlights.
Oh, okay.
It's in our highlights bubbles. There's a Spotify bubble, so you can always get to current playlists.
That's an easy way to do it.
Yeah, because that way you can always get to the current week's playlist and previous week's playlist. So right now
I can do that from my car.
Yeah, right now we have 5 playlists. This week's playlist was the Stars playlist. Last week's playlist was Madam X. The week before was like Rocket Man. The week before that is like an 80s and 90s bops. And the very first playlist is one of my favorites. It's Summer Bops. A lot of Lizzo on that playlist, not gonna lie.
Well, she's kind of like the soundtrack to the summer.
She is. I want to talk about Lizzo because this movie Hustlers is coming out. Do we want to do Hustlers?
She's a peach.
She is a peach.
She's just like personality plus.
I agree.
A pop star with personality. Thank you, Lizzo.
Thank you. Love it. Love it. Love it. We're going to get back to her a little bit later. The other thing that I want to talk about, I hired a cleaning service to come to my house because my family's coming into town.
Oh, girl. Joey, tune in. Listen to what Heidi's about to say. Go on.
Now, I have to tell you, I would love to be the kind of person that has regular housekeeping done in her house. That is like the dream.
We need it.
I'm manifesting winning Mega Millions and having a housekeeper come to my house on the regular. Those are 2 things that I'm working on.
I will sacrifice for it.
Yeah.
I will give up new work stresses.
This dress, though, I'm dying. This snake dress is everything. I can't wait to take pictures of it afterwards. Okay, so this woman, I met her in a group that I'm on Facebook, which I really like, called Boss Ladies PDX, and it's all these women that like run their own businesses or whatever. Her name is Lauren Michelle Ryland. I have her flyer up. I gave it to Mark. So if you're watching this, you can see her flyer. Sandy, I'm going to send you her contact information. The last time I hired a cleaning company, it cost me $400 to have 2 people come and do my house, like not even the entire house, just the first floor for like 4 hours. I will tell you that Lauren was there yesterday. She was there for 4 hours by herself. She runs her own little business. She charges $50 an hour. I didn't even realize how dirty my house was until she cleaned it.
Yeah.
This woman is an angel. The other thing that's exciting about her, not only does she own her own little business, her cleaning business, but she is headed on a trip to Vietnam, and she's like trying to just hustle as much as she can to like make as much money as she can before she goes. So she is like driven, industrious. She's the real deal. Huge fan.
Is she too cute for me to have in my house alone with my husband?
She's cute. I think your husband is committed and loves you very much, so I don't think it matters who else is in your house.
That doesn't matter to me. I'm all about minimizing. I'm all about minimizing risk. I'm all about risk reduction.
You're vigilant. That's true. And you are a risk minimizer.
There's going to be no damn cute woman cleaning my house alone with my husband. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, she's cute. She might be too cute. I don't know.
Damn it.
You might have a little work. I don't know. You'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, her company's called Shimmer and Glisten. She has great references. I would be a reference for her. Anyone could call me to ask about my experience with that. Okay, we're going to move into some stuff that's happening in the world.
Cool.
I mean, I use that. I'm using that word pretty vaguely.
The world or
the
stuff?
word stuff, both stuff, world, whatever. Okay, so I know how you feel about the Bachelorette, Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Just give our listeners a little rant of how it really hits for you.
It's just so wrong. It's so wrong. No woman needs to be chasing down no man, or vice versa. I realize it's the Bachelorette, which makes it even more contrived.
It's crazy. Okay, so this year's Bachelorette is a woman named Hannah,
and we're going to talk about the fantasy suite.
We're into fantasy suite,
which is so fucking gross.
It's so
That's
gross.
That's what I think.
Yeah, because it's really just like, here's 2 people, they're gonna fuck.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you want this job? You want to stay on TV?
Yeah,
you fuck in the fantasy suite.
You fuck in the fantasy suite,
or worse. I do think that is the main motivation, but. Or worse, you want to keep this man? You fuck in the fantasy suite.
Yes, that's the thing. I mean, the pressure is on. The pressure is on. Okay, so this entire season has been marred by a very, let's call him intense personality, a guy named Luke P.
Oh, Luke P.
Luke P. There are a number of Lukes, but this is Luke P. Luke P is a born-again virgin or born-again Christian.
Oh, wait, whoa.
He's not a born-again virgin.
Okay.
He's a virgin.
Damn.
He's a born-again. I think I have this right. I mean, yeah. He's a born-again Christian virgin.
For the show.
And he has gotten in a fight with every single other contestant on the show. Like, everyone hates him. But Hannah's been keeping him around. So it was fantasy.
Because he's good TV.
Because he's good TV. I mean, yeah, the producers are keeping him around. Right. Let's be serious. Okay.
Hannah's like,
so this week was Fantasy Suite Week.
Do I have to fuck Luke P? Yes, you do. Okay.
So Hannah went to the Fantasy Suite, I don't know, on date number 1 with like a guy named Max or something. And
Max.
Bet your ass that they got down. They didn't even make it to the Fantasy Suite.
Yeah, Max.
They did something that involved a windmill. My only thing I can think of is mini golf, but I don't think that's probably right because I didn't watch
traveling?
That. I don't know. I don't really watch the show. I just gleaned this story from BuzzFeed. Thank you, BuzzFeed. So they went somewhere that had a windmill. Maybe they were traveling to Holland or like Michigan or something.
Central Oregon.
Central Oregon. Any of those places that have like a strong Dutch like immigrant community or whatever.
I mean, they may have just done it at the base of one of those like wind turbines.
Oh, that's possible too.
Yeah. You know that little patch they have out on the way to Palm Springs? They're like, they barely made it out of LA. They're like, we have to stop in Indio. We have to get down on these windmills.
And they did twice.
All right.
Hannah was like, we didn't even make it to the fantasy suite. We got down in the windmill and we did it more than once. So that was how that went down, which was great because Hannah's doing what the fuck she wants and Max gets to stay on the show because the producers are like, you want to stay on the show, you fuck Hannah in the windmill. So Hannah went on the next fantasy suite date Hannah went on was with Luke P, virgin, born again Christian. So Luke P said that he would leave the show. He wanted to talk to Hannah about sex. So Hannah was like, rolled her eyes. Okay. So he said, I need to ask you if you've had sex with any of the other contestants, and I need you to know that I'm going to leave the show if you have. And she's like, yeah, I do what I want. And not only did I have sex with this other contestant, I did it twice with him in the windmill. We didn't even make it to whatever. And he said, And I guess Luke said, well, that makes you a hypocrite if you think you're a Christian. And then she said this, quote, I have had sex and Jesus still loves me. Obviously, with how you feel, me fucking in a windmill, you probably want to leave the show. So
that sounds like a fair and honest conversation to have.
I feel like I love that she was like, just straight up, this is who I am. You're crazy if you think that I'm going to be somebody different. So even when you give kind of the gross subtext, or it's not even really subtext, the gross context of The Bachelor, Bachelorette, and all like the trading of sex for fame, you know, at least here she's like, you can't really roll with me. Bye. So people are excited that she was like able to let him go.
Yeah, but what would that have been like if it was somebody she was actually interested in?
I know.
I mean, it's Luke. He's been a lightning rod on the show, apparently, and he's clearly annoying. So it's like, it's so easy to be like, well, yeah, I did, fuck you. But if it's a man she's interested in, or a man with power, or something like that, now it's not the same situation. Right. And would she have been so strong? Would she have been like legitimately slut shamed?
Yeah.
Because that's what Luke was trying to do to her.
That's right. And I love that you're asking the hard-hitting question, right? Because it's easy to be like, oh, this guy's an idiot, and like he had it coming.
Yeah.
And so here's how I really fucking feel, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it's like, shit, you're offering to leave the show? I will take you up on your offer. I don't want to fuck you in the fantasy suite.
That's right. Yeah. All I'm saying is you're definitely proving your chops as an investigative journalist, and I feel like we might need to go on our own investigative journalist adventure because you can ask the hard-hitting questions. It's so good.
I want to cover all the bases of possibility, and based on how I feel like I deeply understand human nature.
That you do.
I feel like I do.
That's legit. That's why I learn something every week because I'm just out here like, oh, I don't know.
I take a story at face value.
Always.
I mean, I think that's a good thing. I think that's what we're supposed to do.
I don't know.
I wish we lived in a world where we could.
Yes.
Yes. Because that is what we're supposed to do.
That's the truth. Speaking of wishing we lived in a world where we could, I'm moving us into this Kanye and Kim story.
Yeah,
I don't know what that segue has to do with
this. This is another world we wish we lived in.
I mean, yes, this is true. Okay, so everyone knows that Kim and Kanye have been renovating their Hollywood Hills home or whatever forever. If you don't know, now you know.
I know.
Okay, so I have a ton of pictures on this story. So if you're not watching this, go find somewhere to watch us and pull up minute 21 on the podcast because you're going to want to see these before and after photos. I just want to put this out right now. 2 weeks ago, we talked about the Church of Kanye, the cult of Kanye.
Yes.
And I just want you to look at these before and afters with the cult of Kanye in mind.
Okay.
Like, it might look like they're getting ready to be founders of a mega church. And also, I'm kind of not mad at them.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is a before. This living room before was like shabby chic with like exposed beams, and now the living room is like
kind of like it.
And now the living room is like plain. It's just very minimal concrete, like clean surfaces. There's a baby grand in the middle of the living room. Like
it's got like hematomas hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, hell yeah, I would absolutely hang out here. I mean, would it be a hard place to grow up in as a 5-year-old? Maybe, yeah. It's not particularly whimsical or like cozy. It's a little museum-esque, but I mean, as a almost 39-year-old woman, this absolutely appeals to my sense of like, it's clean. Like everything's clean here.
It's clean.
Yeah, it's clean. All right.
You know, so this is what reminds me of the one time in my life where I was invited to go home with the dog pound. And I thought that it was in the 90s, and I thought I was going to walk into a rap video. And what I walked into was an empty house with no electricity. And that's what this fucking reminds me of. The only difference is there were no hematomas hanging from the ceiling.
No hematomas. Oh my God. But was it like clean and white like this? Or was it like, oh yeah, but it was completely empty?
Completely empty.
Wow.
Except like one chair. And that was apparently where the guys sit while the
girls grind on them and fuck them and blow them and stuff.
Yeah, because that's what we were supposed to do. We just didn't know
until you got there.
Until we got there,
and then your stomach sank. Like, oh shit!
And then we
gotta
left.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Okay, let's move to the next picture. This is the hallway before. This looks like it came out of like a restoration hardware catalog to me.
It does.
It's got some nice like.
I like it.
It's okay. Yeah, it's cute. Okay, here's the hallway afterwards. Okay, this does have a very like culty museum feel to it.
They renovated this. It looks like they just like took the furniture out. This is a renovation. Okay.
Like, why have you guys been working on this for a whole like 3 years? It's like, you're right. It's just like they undecorated it.
Yeah. I'm definitely getting an energy up for it though. Like I'm seeing Kim and Kanye living here. I'm getting the energy.
Yeah.
I'm I'm with you. I'm on the train.
I agree. I really like the aesthetic of this actually, but I really am hoping that they have like a giant like that their kids have like an entire floor or something that's like all fun stuff. Because this would be hard.
I expect they do.
Yeah, this would be hard to be a kid.
They're making a statement here. They're expressing their personal style here.
Yeah.
I think they spoil their kids though. I bet their kids have a whole wing.
I bet they do too.
I hope that you show those in the photos.
I hope that someday they write a tell-all what it's like to be their kids. Okay, here's the next set of photos. Oh, this is the dining room. Oh, sorry, the living room. Another angle of this living room with like just like big table. This looks actually like Kris Jenner decorated this room to me. Okay, and then now this has such a culty feel to it. This round table in the middle, I just can't. This does look like they're getting ready to have like some kind of cult session of like Heaven's Gate or something. Drink the Kool-Aid together. I don't know.
You know, it's like concrete and like the really big, thick arched doorway.
I mean, I do like the neutrals. I have to say, like, I think it will age well. And then like but the chairs are weird to me. But then, you know, that's like the trendy piece of it. They can just replace the chairs.
Yeah. And like that interesting sculpture in the background. That's, I don't know. I don't know that I just don't feel comfortable here.
I know. It does not feel like a cozy place. And you know how much time the Kardashian women spend in their beds.
Well, I was just going to say, like, but isn't this just where they're going to eat salads and film? Like, that's what they're going to do.
That's true. But I don't know if they ever film at Kim's house. And also, there's no couches now that I think about this. The Kardashians are always on couches. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, the master bedroom before and after is like whatever. The bathroom is the one you actually really have to see, which is the next.
I like the exposed beams.
I think it's cute too.
Yeah. They look like they did do like an outdoor-indoor there, which is probably super cool.
Yeah, I bet that's what's coming next because that's the bathroom. Okay, here's the next.
the bathroom.
Yes. Okay, here's what the bathroom used to look like, which again looks like it came out of a Restoration Hardware from 10 years ago. And now here's what the bathroom looks like now, and it's like an indoor-outdoor like oasis.
I do. I'm a fan.
I would spend my whole life in that bathroom.
Big fan.
I would basically be like, oh, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, KUWTK. You just come find me in the bathtub here.
Yeah, it does. Okay, but that vegetation out there does look a little Children of the Corny.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I could picture like a kid coming through like into the glass. I'd be terrified.
They do look. How can they be in a cornfield in California? Is that even a thing?
I mean, it's probably not corn.
Oh,
it just looks.
It does look a lot like corn.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's our mini ruthless review of their renovation job. I think that's the last of the pictures that I have for that.
Well, go Kim and Kanye.
I think so. I'm here for it.
I feel like it's their expression. I can see it.
Yeah.
It fits.
I'm not mad at it.
I'd say it fits.
Sandy, you're going to be so happy about this. Emmy nominations came out this week.
Okay.
Which
so what am I going to be happy about?
I mean, nobody watches the Emmys, but here's the story. So Game of Thrones is leading the way. Can you guess how many nominations they have?
29.
137.
Oh, good Lord.
So 137 nominations. Wait a minute. 32. I lied.
Oh,
that's different than 137.
I was like, that's a lot of categories. That's why nobody watches.
That's right. Sorry, my bad. 32 Emmy nominations for Game of Thrones, 19 for Chernobyl.
Oh, yes. That was so good.
I will tell you, I'm certain that there's no Emmy nomination for Best Russian Accent in that.
No.
Absolutely. Not a single Russian accent in that miniseries. Okay, and guess who has one Emmy nomination for Outstanding Comedy?
I don't know.
Schitt's Creek.
Oh yeah, who has it?
Your favorite show? That show, the show overall is nominated for Outstanding Comedy.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So that I thought was like going to maybe
good job, Board of Emmy nominators.
The Emmy nominators.
Good job.
I like it.
It is funny.
Yeah, it's cute. And then the last thing I think we'll touch on before we head into our big topic for the day is Sotheby's, the internationally renowned auction house. They've been on the Upper East Side since 1982, which actually that doesn't sound like that long. Like,
no,
I was born in 1980, so
yeah, it's when Wall Street started like making stupid money and everybody started doing cocaine. Sotheby's stepped in and was like, "I'm gonna sell you a bunch of shit for a ton of money." I
don't know. I gotta think about this, but if I could get a time machine, I might go back to and I could be like, I want to be a rich person. Maybe I'd go back to being a rich person in New York City on Wall Street in the 80s because in the early 80s.
It would be up for consideration.
It would be insane. Can you imagine just like the crazy art shit you would buy, like the weird places you would live, like the shoulder pads alone?
Do you know why I would want to go back?
Why?
Because you don't have to call people back. Like, like people could call you and you could miss the call, and it's
miss the call entirely.
Yeah. And if you're not home, you don't have to talk to anybody.
That's right.
So that's kind of why I
like that. And when
back.
you go out with someone, you like, this was something that happened to me that we did when I was a kid. So this would be like late 80s, early 90s, that my parents would be like, you know, I'd be like, Mom, I want to go hang out with Cassie and we're going to go to the mall. And like Cassie's parents would drop her at the mall and my parents would drop me at the mall. And then my mom would be like, okay, meet me back here at 3:00 or whatever. And it was like, sweet, we're completely free. We're like two little kids just running around the mall looking at stuff in like Walgreens that costs 5 cents or whatever. And then we have all this free time. The only thing we have to do is make sure that we're where we're supposed to be at 3:00. Fucking rad. Mm-hmm. So rad. I agree. That'd be cool. My motives for going back to the early 80s are a little like more greedy.
Yours are greedy and mine are antisocial. So we all have our things.
We do. It's true. Okay, so anyway, Sotheby's has been on the Upper East Side since 1982. They are the most famous British American luxury. Sorry. Oh my God. Could I read today?
British American luxury?
I can't read today because you know what? My dog, Lemon, was up all night last night. 2:00, 2:30, 4:00, 5:00, barking like crazy.
Maybe there's a possum outside.
I don't know what was outside. It was a tweaker, I'm sure. Actually, I do know what was outside. It was tweaker. But anyway, it got me up.
Can we just build a giant wall around your house?
I wish. Only if it looks like Kim and Kanye's master bathroom setup.
I mean, inspired by.
Absolutely. We can absolutely do that. Okay, so Sotheby's has been auctioning famous British American luxury goods since 1744. Okay. That's old. That's pretty old. Okay, so they're moving into the sneaker market.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. How do you feel about, first of all, do you call them Nikes or Nikes?
I call them Nikes. I used to call them Nikes, just like I would call Target Target.
Yeah. I can't remember when I first heard people calling them Nikes, but I remember hearing that.
Well, I think there's a couple rap songs when they're referred to as Nikes. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
And being in Portland, Oregon, we're in Nike Town, basically. Nike headquarters is here. And that had me thinking about Nike as a brand. Just like, I used to think like, oh my God, Nike was great, right? Like the shoes and this stuff and whatever. And now that I live here and it's like, I do like getting access to the employee store occasionally, but living in a place where it's like Under Armour headquarters and Adidas headquarters and Nike headquarters, it's like, nah.
I hate it because I know the truth about like Nike employment and Nike. I lived up on the hill with like, I got to meet some Nike execs and they're douchebags.
Oh my God.
I get to know about the hard workers and the contract workers for Nike and how bad they're treated.
Oh my God. Did I ever tell you my story about being a contracted worker for them?
Yes.
I forgot that I had told you this, but I'm going to tell our listeners.
Okay.
So for a hot minute, I was what's called a white badge employee at Nike. So that is a contracted worker. They have like a caste system at Nike where black badge employees are the best full-time, permanent, benefited employees. And if you're not, you're contracted through an employment service. At the time, I was contracted through Kelly. They used to use Kelly Employment Services for all of their contract employees, but they've shifted that since. So I was an employee of Kelly. I was contracted to Nike, and I had to wear a white badge, not a black badge. And
we have contractor badges at my work, and I do look at them a little different.
I mean, people looked at me differently, that's for sure.
I did date one though, so. Had to try.
Well, one time my mom was coming, and there are very strict rules about who can go to the Nike employee store, how you get your passes, who your passes are transferable to, all that stuff. So my mom was in town visiting me from Iowa, and she was at Iowa at the time, and I wanted to take her to the Nike employee store. So I thought I had all my P's and Q's done, and I get my mom. I'm like, we're gonna go to Nike. It's gonna be so fun. And we go there, and we get to the front desk, and the people at the desk are like, we can't let your mother in. And I'm like, well, why not? And they're like, well, you're a white badge employee. And I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, and she has to live with you. You have to have the same address in order for her to be extended your benefit of access to the employee store. And I was like, well, she's my mom and she's visiting from out of town. And they're like, well, I mean, they really didn't want to, but they let us in, right?
Oh, I'm glad they did that because that would have been real.
It was really awful though, because I was like so proud to take my mom to Nike because I was like, oh my God, I'm a big girl. I'm working at Nike. This is so great. And so we shopped, we probably spent like $400 or something because it was like this, it's like, then you get in there and it's like grocery market. What's that show? Supermarket Sweep. Mm-hmm. And they give you like a grocery cart and you're just like pulling stuff off the shelves. My greed really got like pretty crazy.
This greed of yours is new to me.
I know. I feel like it's the first time I'm really outing myself about how greedy I can be.
I think you've been doing it for the past year, and it still feels new.
I know. And so we left the store or whatever, and then I went back to work the next day, and I had a voicemail on my desk phone from someone in HR who told me that they had been notified by the Nike employee store that I had broken the rules about guests in the employee store, and I wanted to die.
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed. I was so mortified.
So stories like this, I've heard a handful, and it is unfortunate because for whatever reason, I really like the Nike product.
I know.
And Joey has a family member, and he brought us each a couple pairs of shoes to try out, and they were like really great running shoes. And now they have a new trail shoe that I just really want. It's got a nice wide toe box.
Yes.
I love a wide toe box.
Keep those toenails, girl.
Yeah, but I'm like, fuck. I hate what I know about the company, but I love their product.
I know. I kind of feel that I don't know as much about Adidas, and I love the resurgence that Adidas is having. Like, I love their new store or whatever. All I can say is this is a long way to get around to the point of what I was thinking, which is like, I am paying those $16K for a pair of Nikes, frankly.
Well, no. I mean, that's for the sneakerheads. That's for the reach. Because what we have now is a culture of super rich white men in their mid 40s who grew up in hip hop culture, and so this is a status, and this is a status symbol for them. Yeah,
absolutely.
so it's just like I guess a moniker of our culture.
Ooh,
it just shows
hard-hitting reporting.
Yeah, I mean, it just is. I love the aging middle-aged white man.
I know. We both
love their hip hop.
They do.
And they love their hip hop culture.
They do. Oh my God. Jeff loves Beastie Boys. I'm always like, oh my God. Yeah. That's like all they do to me. Okay. But anyway, so Sotheby's is auctioning off a couple pairs of shoes. A lot of shoes actually, but I just snagged a couple pictures. One of the pairs that's up for sale, all of these sneakers start at $16K. So that's like the reserve bid on all of them. This pair is a pair of Travis Scott sneakers. They are Cactus Jacks, which must refer to like the style maybe.
Does that mean he wore them like they were his sneakers?
I think it means he owned them.
Okay.
They don't look super worn to me, but then like that's the other thing. These sneakerheads, they keep their shoes like in pristine condition, so I don't know. And then the other pair, of course, the notorious pair that is the inspiration for Yeezy's line, the Back to the Future sneaks are up there. They think those will go for $160,000. But the most expensive pair of Nikes ever auctioned was actually a pair of Jordans that went for $190,000.
I could see that though. Jordans are iconic.
Yes.
Like straight up iconic.
They are. It's true.
So if you can get a pair of Jordans like worn by Michael Jordan, like if people are going to pay top dollar for that.
It's true. Even though it's like the cost of a house. Maybe 2 houses if you're in Detroit.
Yeah. So just this little snapshot. One more little snapshot of our culture, how rich the rich are and how the rest of us just talk about it on our podcast.
Just regular people doing regular stuff. Okay, we're going to move into our topic for the show today, which is why rejection is actually awesome. Why is rejection?
I like that you put it that way. So I mentioned to Heidi because we were trying to like think about topics, and I love talking about love and dating. And Heidi is a love and dating expert, and she is releasing a book this fall.
That's right,
all about how to find your soulmate. So this is like right up our alley. But one thing that I've touched on in previous podcasts, but I think is a really important consideration to being the baddest bitch in the room is rejection.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to say that because you're the baddest bitch in the room, you're not going to get rejected.
It will happen.
It happens. It will happen.
That's right.
If you're worth your salt, you will be rejected.
That's right. It's kind of like the concept of haters, right? People are going to love you or hate you, and it usually has nothing to do with you.
Yeah,
actually.
well, and you might end up dating a douchebag, and he may reject you. But so the way it came up, so I just mentioned to Heidi in passing. So I'm like, yeah, well, maybe we could talk about rejection.
Yeah.
And and the way that like Heidi kind of phrased it back was like how to deal with, how to get over.
Yeah, that's true.
Like this really like, oh no, rejection is
insurmountable, this huge obstacle.
Like
dark topic,
but you can get through it. I promise. I'm totally exaggerating.
You too can survive rejection.
I'm totally exaggerating.
It's all right.
That was not your response.
That's all right. I mean, it was close.
I'm just illustrating it.
It wasn't far off.
I'm just doing an illustrative reenactment.
A dramatic reinterpretation. We haven't done a next door dramatic reinterpretation in a minute, so that's fine.
Yeah. So that wasn't actually her response.
But I didn't know how to phrase it. But it's interesting, right? Because my kind of intrinsic knee-jerk response to it was to phrase it in this like negative way.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned this a couple weeks ago, and you had said specifically to put a positive spin on. And I remember being like, oh my God, how are we what do you mean? I like really couldn't, like in the moment, I couldn't put the two together. So I love that we're hashing it out here because there are some real good, true, like benefits to learning how to either facing rejection or learning how to face rejection or just like experiencing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think for me, like why rejection looked very different to me when I was dating as mid 30s than it looked in like early 20s is because I had gone through a lot of growing and learning in recovery about letting go of my ego.
Yeah.
And when I'm able to do that, I am better at looking at things from a position of neutrality. I am better at seeing that this might not actually be because I'm a piece of shit and I'm worthless and I'm never going to be loved again.
Right.
And even just, so in the dating realm, so taking a step back, when we're dating, like what Heidi says all the time is we're really meeting people, we're gathering information, and the way to be the most successful in dating is not spending too much time with the wrong person.
That's right. Oh my God. That's the God's honest truth right there.
Yes.
That's the real fucking nugget of information.
So the better we can get at not spending, more time than we need to with the wrong person is by being able to be resilient and move through meeting multiple people.
Yeah.
We might meet people that we don't like and we're able to move through them more easily, but we might meet people that don't like us.
Yes. And that's okay.
Yes.
And honestly, I think the best thing about this, the best tool I have for this is to just really remind myself that it really isn't about me.
Right.
Unless my behavior is egregious, right? Like there was a time when it was about me because I was a drunken lunatic all the time. My behavior was inappropriate. It was outlandish. It was crazy. So there was some work I had to do. But if I have done that work and I'm an available partner and I'm like, here, I'm in it, to win it with some focus on this dating thing and somebody doesn't like me, it's kind of like, this is, some recovery language. If my side of the street's clean, like I showed up to this interaction as like a honest, tolerant, kind person, like then it's not about me.
Right. And I want to kind of put a pin in that and go back to that because even in the setting of, because I can relate to, I have experiences when I was dating in my drinking when I remember a guy telling me that you're totally fun to have beers with, but I don't think we'll be going out again.
Right.
And that was a rejection, but that is another excellent use at rejection because I did like that guy. I did think he was a worthy partner and he didn't want me. And that is something to kind of go like, oh, maybe there is some growth here. Maybe I do need to look at myself. So that's a whole nother level of how rejection could be useful in growth. I just think it's very dangerous to rely on what another person thinks of us
completely
to kind of reflect on ourselves.
Yeah.
In our cases, when we were a little bit messy drinking, like I still know this guy and he was right.
Yeah.
Like it's hilarious. And the woman I am now would never date him.
Right.
Like ever in a million years.
Exactly.
So,
I love that, right? Because actually there's two things that are resonating for me about that. One of them is that I also met some people in my drinking days who were like, you're nice, but you're not, like, and then in the kindest way, like you're nice, but this is not going to work.
Right.
Because I was like a rolling dumpster, especially in my 20s.
I love that term, rolling dumpster fire. Oh my God,
I was like a rolling dumpster fire. It was ugly. It was ugly. So like, and that was okay for me to hear that. And like, I drank at that for a long time until I couldn't drink at that anymore. And then had to look at that rejection and had to go, okay, that was like legit. You know? Had to evaluate, is this legitimate? That was legitimate, a legitimate criticism of my behavior. And then the other thing I love that you mentioned is like the woman you are today wouldn't date that guy, which is that, I took some time. I took an entire year off dating to like do some work and like really have a look at my patterns and stuff. And when I stepped away from dating, I had a woman that said to me, I was like in the middle of, I had like any number of irons in the fire. None of them were with particularly appropriate people. But I felt like, oh my God, how am I going to walk away from all these kind of things I have going? And this woman I was doing this work with said like, well, honestly, by the time you're done with the work, these guys probably aren't going to be your type anyway. Like you're probably not even going to care about, not that you're not going to care about them. You're probably not going to want to date them anyway. So it's like, we always think in the moment that like what we have going on, we're not going to change. We're going to want that still. But it's like the ability to change and grow through this rejection means that like, you might not even care, like coming out the other side of it, it doesn't even, that partner's not even someone you would pick anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
So moving into dating in like a more healthy way when we have a more healthy sense of ourselves. So now here we are now, we've done our work. We have a good amount of like self-love and self-respect, and we're out there and we're just trying to meet people to see if one sticks. Right. And it's not like, and when I say see if one sticks, to see if like there's somebody that we actually like enough to see again, and are attracted to enough to see if like we might fall in love, and so in that process, especially if you're dating online, because a lot of what I talk about is online dating, because that's how people date. That's how I did it. You really are kind of just like sifting through people, and God bless America if you're able to let me know that you're not interested in me, because one, I can move on. Two, at this point, I don't have to take it personally. And if I remember one guy I was going to go out with. I never met him, but we were talking back and forth and he looked really good online. And then right before we had set a date and right before we were going to meet, he sent me a message that he actually went out with somebody a couple nights ago and he really, really likes her. And he really, really wants to pursue it. And so he doesn't think he should meet me. And it did hurt because I'm like, but what about me? I'm badass. But then I was like, oh, the last fucking thing I want to do is date a guy who's seeing someone else that he really likes.
That's right.
Like, that sucks.
Well, and I mean, a little bit of credit to him, right? For having the maturity to say, like, actually, I'm going to cancel this because I'm into this other thing.
Right. And so it reminded me of this thing that I heard where it's like the best way to know if someone likes you is that because they like you. If they don't like you, you're just confused. Right? And it's like, if I would have still dated this guy, it would have been that whole, like, I just be confused. Like, it would be really fucking confusing because he's dating this other woman that he likes.
I kind of like that as a confusion as a littmus test. Right. Like, if you're confused.
If they like you, they like you. If they don't like you, they confuse you.
They
don't, it's usually, they don't usually go like, I don't like you and I'm going to tell you I don't like you. They confuse you.
They confuse you.
So if you are confused in a current relationship, read the fucking writing on the wall.
Reevaluate. Reevaluate. I love that. That is like such, oh my God, that's so good. And what you talked about is like, you talked about being able to move through it and then not taking it personally. I honestly think that's the linchpin here. That once we've done some growth and we get to a place where we're like healthy and we're dating, that like setting the ego aside, not taking it personally. The 4 agreements help me with this as well, because I always remember like be impeccable with your word, don't take it personally, and I forget the other 2. But it doesn't matter because those first 2 get me through a lot of shit. So not taking it personally is just it, and you know what? Maybe it is a little crutch just to help my ego, but it also gives me a lot of relief. So I don't really care.
Well, and here's the other thing. I want to like kind of expand a little bit on don't take it personally. Rejection, because of the nature of rejection, especially in a romantic relationship, it does hurt. So I'm not saying don't be hurt by it. I'm not saying don't be disappointed. And I think this is where the crux of what my deep understanding about rejection, where it lies. I am allowed to be disappointed that I liked this person, I was interested in this opportunity, and it didn't work out. Because what it really is disappointment. And we can walk through disappointment today.
Agreed.
So feelings that I would feel would be like, what's wrong with me? I'm not good enough. Everybody else is good enough, but I'm not good enough. I'm unlovable. I'm never going to find anybody. And even once I got healthy, I still had those feelings, but they were so much more to such a smaller degree. And they didn't consume me.
Rule your life.
And they didn't affect how I went out and moved forward in the world. And so, yes, we're allowed to be disappointed. Yes, we're allowed to recognize that being rejected kind of brings these feelings up if that's something that we have in our history. Some people are really fucking healthy and they're like, whatever, don't experience that. But they're probably not the kind of women who are taking our love advice, They've got that shit on lock, or men, whatever.
I mean, I love that, right? Because really the journey is so much about like a spiritual being having a human experience and having these feelings. It's just part of our humanness, right? So like, I love as a recovering alcoholic, sometimes I get in a lot of trouble when my feelings are like hugely disproportionate to what's going on. And then they start to compel my behavior in some kind of like really shitty way. That's where I get like in the danger zone. And so I have really come to a place where I'm like, I can have these feelings. I don't even have to, I can even own that I'm uncomfortable having these feelings, but like, they don't have to compel me to like do some kind of like really outrageous or outlandish thing, and I can just like react to my life in this way that's like a little more mature and like healthy.
Yeah, and just kind of like shift the power out of those darker feelings to, oh wait, but mostly I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
and it's okay to be disappointed.
Agreed. Or have some self-pity. You know what I mean? Like people, there are people in the circles we run around with that are like self-pity. I'm like, okay, everyone's gonna feel a little self-pity now. It's fine. It's fucking fine. Okay.
Yeah, I always tell girlfriends when they're going through a breakup and like I knew it was coming because I've been telling them their relationship was shit for a long time, and then they come and they're going through the breakup and they're deep in self-pity. I'm like, okay, you get 3 days.
Yeah,
like you get 3 days.
Sit with it, but
to have your self-pity. Yeah, but then like you got to keep it moving, girl.
Let's do something else. Get back on that swiping. Get back on that Tinder or wherever you're at.
The best way to get over somebody is to get under someone else.
I mean, depending.
I haven't tried that yet.
I haven't either. I love this topic. This is good.
It's good.
I'm trying to think if I have anything else to add because so much of the feelings I have about it are really related to this idea of not taking it personally and just getting back out there.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's the other thing is that there is, I was listening to this podcast the other day that was talking about how like act as if is really not like a great coping tool, but I kind of feel like here it
kind of is sometimes.
Sometimes it is, right? And in this case, it's like just get back into action and get back out there because there will be other, partly because it will distract you. Like so if you're, like if you need a little distraction, it might start out as a distraction, then you get all the way back into it. And then partly because that's the nature of it, right? We're getting information about people, selecting and that's the other thing too. Having this kind of like scientific frame of this, like we are sifting down, we are going out with a lot of people, we're gathering information, we're selecting who's available, who's not, who's a good match, who's not, who we have chemistry with.
We're learning to read the cues.
Who's not. We're learning to read the cues, who's not, or whatever. When I think about my journey that way, then I can also think that other people are having their journey that way.
Right.
And then I can go, oh, that person that didn't want to go out with me, they're just doing the same thing. They're sifting through, they're trying to decide what fits, what doesn't, who they have chemistry with, who they don't.
Yeah,
and
it does come down to like having a little bit of compassion too, because like you said, the other person has their own set of ideals and their own set of what they're looking for, and it's probably not because they didn't like the way your waist looked in the dress you're wearing, like what you're going to be focusing on.
Right.
It probably has more to do with things about like how you would jive with their family's culture, how you would jive with their own values,
or their kids, or like whatever, or their family,
or they really are just still in love with their ex, which is frequent. It's a frequent finding, because do you know what men do when they break up or get broken up with by the one they love? They go online and they start dating. So you are likely going to find a large proportion of those, and you might date one and they might reject you.
And I feel like a red flag for that is if they're still friends with their ex, especially their most recent ex.
I've never known one, like, we're still friends, or we're best friends. I've never known one where that works out. And I'd just be like, well, you guys are clearly still in love.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
One is still in love with the other.
Making that face, so I was like, I think Sandy agrees with me on this, but it sounded to me like a minute like you didn't, but you do.
Yeah, I've never known one where that's like, legit.
Yeah, seriously. If you're going out with a guy who's still like best friends with his ex, he's in love with her. Bye. Next. Okay.
Yeah,
or him or whatever.
Yeah, and we can do another podcast about lying to yourself. How you lie to yourself because you just want to keep dating this man. But the other thing, and this is a really, really important thing about being able to walk through rejection, to be able to have rejections, to realize that it's probably not about me and that I'm still good. I am still the baddest bitch in the room, and I keep it moving. That's esteem building.
Yes.
And it builds resilience. Yep. And I do think we need to be the baddest bitch in the room when we're out there dating, and we can be rejected and still be the baddest bitch in the room. That's very, very important. And to have that resilience and to not let that take us out, it makes us stronger. It makes us more attractive.
It does.
And I do think it's an important experience to have.
Flung my hair tie
so
across
I say, get rejected.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Haters gonna hate.
Big win.
Drink up that haterade. It's okay.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's a little extreme.
Yeah, I was just saying that I don't think it's haterade. I just think
you're right. It's not haterade.
We're just not gonna jive with everybody. We're not gonna fall in love with everybody. We could be the baddest bitch in the room, and that doesn't mean that everybody falls in love with us.
It's true.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
it hasn't happened to me. But.
What a great segment. Thank you so much for the idea. I'm really glad that we got to What's that word when we got to riff on it?
We got to riff on rejection.
We got to riff on rejection. All right, we are
reject me. I dare you.
I dare you. You guys are not going to want to miss what we have coming up next, which is our Ruthless review. We are doing a Ruthless review of Aziz Ansari's new Netflix comedy special. I'm going to tell you right now, mixed bag, and it's coming up next.
It's called Right Now?
No.
Oh, what's it called?
I don't know what it's called, actually. Shoot. Anyway, it'll be on the Ruthless Review title. And we are sending a lot of love, light, and gold from Portland, Oregon. And reminding you to...
Get rejected.
Stay vigilant.
Stay vigilant.
Rejected. I like that. Hell yeah.
What miracles of science and engineering it took to recover this gold